Bobby, Kristen.
Hey, girl.
We're so excited that you agreed to do this for us. We know you're a very big deal, a very popular girl.
Get out of here.
Is this your second podcast now?
Third, but only one has aired, which we literally filmed it last week, and then it aired yesterday. And then she's a local content creator who just started a podcast. So, she said I was like her top request of like guests to come on, which was so fun for me. And she's
So
just
nice.
super sweet. We've met a couple times in person for just like coffee and chat. We're just in totally different seasons of life. So it was pretty interesting to get to, just talk with her about content creation and things like that. And then I did one while I was in Sea Island a couple of weeks, but it's not launching, I think, until September. So
okay.
I guess she plans out very, very ahead. Because when I was talking to Erin, I was like, so when will this one come out? She's like, oh, next week. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, same for us. Ours come out within a few weeks, ours come out.
Yeah, in the summer, we kind of will batch record because we're just in different places at different times.
Yeah.
But we're just excited that you wanted to do this. And Bobby and I have followed each other. Well, one of your reels popped up for me. I think it was one with you and Doug doing a transition into. And see how loud that is?
It is. It got louder.
Yeah, I can hear that now on my end. It's on. Perfect.
Okay, great. There you go. We did it. And then it got rid of whatever weird noise that was.
So I have been working on
Women in tech, am I right?
I have been working on a Dell computer for 12 years. And then my husband bought me a Mac like 5 years ago, never touched it hardly at all. And then now that I don't have my work computer, because I just use my work computer for everything. And now I'm like learning everything Apple. And I'm like, how do I do
It's
that?
totally different.
It's so different.
I'm a dumb. I don't understand tech. I've just relegated myself to just, I don't know, being a cave woman or something. But I can manage my phone, but the computer really trips me up. But Kristen's the tech guru for this whole thing.
Glad we got her.
I can't survive without her. Truly, all that to say doesn't run without her whatsoever. I'm always like, when we're together, you should show me how to do it. And she's like, I know you can't do this.
It's just so much that you kind of pick up along the way that, I'm sure, Bobby, you even as you've been doing the influencing, there's just things you pick up and you just have to learn on the fly because you have to make things work. And you're like, how would I ever teach this to someone else? It's crazy.
Yeah. My assistant's the same way. So, I hate calling her my assistant, but she's my friend Ashley, and she is just so good. I was like, if you just could show me real quick, how to do that. She's like, it honestly would just be quicker if you sent it to me and let me do it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let her do what she does best. I think that's okay.
It's the let them theory.
Let them.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
What do you think about the let them theory, Bobby?
Let them. I don't know.
It's such a Southern. It's like, just let them.
I made it about halfway through the Audible book. I just didn't have the time, and then I listened to something else. It's a great theory to, if you're able to do that and just say, let them, think what they want. I think there is a part of that where you have to have the mental capacity doing this whole influencing thing. Like if people want to make very, very rude comments on my post at this point, I'm just like, let them, it's helping the engagement,
Okay, so since you've opened up the door, sorry, I've listened to way too much Karen Reed trial, and now I'm speaking like a lawyer. It's called now that you've opened up the door, then we can actually talk about it on cross-examination. It's very exciting. But now that you've talked about the hate comments, I find that you don't get a ton, though.
Not on Instagram.
Oh, where do you get it?
It's Facebook. They're feral.
Okay. I have heard that the Facebook folks are savage. Bailey.
Oh, yeah, Bailey.
Over in Tennessee, she will post some of the Facebook comments that come through, and then she'll attach the profile of the person that made the comment, and it's so hysterical what she does. But I'm like, why are they so irritable over on Facebook?
I think it's the average age of the Facebook user. It's just like this old biddy, They have a chip on their shoulder. They're mad about something. They can't take it out on their daughter-in-law, so they do it on Bobby.
Yeah. It's bizarre.
Oh yeah, the men do love to comment. They're unhinged.
Well, they like to comment on women's looks, women's bodies. It's crazy.
What are they saying to you?
Yeah, what are they saying to you? You're the sweet Southern woman. I'm shocked. Yes.
Are we recording?
We're recording.
Okay. You don't have to say it if you don't want to, but I'm just kind of like, what could they possibly be coming at you for?
Yeah, it's so it's only the reels that go viral. So it's just like the ones that get, out there. I mean, the most recent reel that went viral was Doug and I in Sea Island, and I did this little funny thing, it's like I wish God would have brought him sooner to me, or our lives would have crossed, before. But when he was in college, I was in middle school. And so we always like to joke about where were you, when and the year. So it was like the year 2000, and I put like his fraternity composite picture up there, and then a picture of me dressing up for Halloween, and I guess it went viral on Facebook, and some of the people were like, well, he didn't have money back then, or you did it for the health insurance, or he needs to hem his pants. He looks like a slob. Like, I mean, just crazy things. And then I had another reel go viral with Blink eye drops, and it was like full-time working mom or whatever. And they're like, this girl is a joke. Like, what are you doing? What does this even mean? And then, I mean, when I was at that, who let this escape from the farm? I mean, just, all kind of vile. Somebody actually posted a picture of dog poop on my reel and said, this is what this reel is.
I'm so psychotic. It's hilarious. What is wrong with these people?
There's something wrong with people.
I feel like I want to teach a class. I want to be a professor and teach a college course on the human reactions to Instagram or any social media things. I just want to know what goes through people's minds.
Yeah.
When they say, yep, this is how I want to spend my time. This is what I want to say. Yeah. This is how I'm going to spend my time. And I do want this person to hopefully read or hear this. I don't understand that. If I don't like something, I just scroll. I just go right on past. Just scroll.
I mean, I love the block button. It's become like a really, really favorite feature of mine on all platforms, but specifically Facebook, because it's just so easy to hit. You can block, ban, all the things. So it's just, it just blows my mind. Or even when the great thing on Instagram is a lot of people don't do it in the comments, they do it in the DM. So they think they're sending your story to somebody else. And they're like, look at her, or look what she.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We know about that. We know about that.
Like,
People do that to me. It used to be, I feel like, easier to accidentally do that for some reason.
Yeah.
People would come into my DMs and I would open it up there. We call it Glove Gate. I was making a quiche for a friend who had just had a baby, and I was rolling out the dough and I was chopping the tomatoes and sauteing the onions, and I share my recipes with people. I feel like I'm very nice to do so.
Yeah.
I don't ask for anything in return. Just take my amazing quiche recipe and shut up.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm putting everything out and I'm kind of pressing the dough into the pan, and somebody sent that, they sent the DM to me, but they were obviously trying to send it to their friend. And they were like, if she touches that dough one more time with her fingers, and this is for someone else, and they just had a brand new baby, it's disgusting. I literally can't. I'm gonna die. I was like, so I responded and I said, hey, you accidentally sent this to me. Next time you want to talk shit about me with your friend, just make sure that you actually send it to her instead of me. She read it and she had nothing back to say.
No, there's nothing to say.
She was embarrassed, but I shared it. I didn't share her profile or anything, but I shared the comment and reminded my followers the same. Like, I know a lot of y'all do send my stories to other people. I'm hoping to say, oh, this was really funny, but I'm sure it's to talk a little shit. But just as a reminder, you can very accidentally send it to me. And if you don't want me to see your hateful comments, make sure you do send it to your friend. And we've called it Glovegate ever since.
Glovegate.
Like, does she want me to use gloves in my actual home to cook my actual food with? She said that. She said that, and at the end of her thing, she was like, she needs gloves. I was like, I am never going to use gloves. I had a bakery for 10 years where I had to be maniacal about my hands and all the washing and all the things. I'm not doing it inside of my home.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And you shouldn't either, Bobby. No.
You don't have to use gloves when you cook either, Bobby. Okay, that's the point of the story.
It works out perfectly.
I know Doug does all her cooking. She has a cooking series with Doug.
Oh,
cooking with Doug.
So nice.
Dining with Doug. Yeah.
Dining with Doug. Dining with Doug.
Doug.
Let me make sure I get it right. She is always be closing, always be branding.
Always be branding. ABB.
Yep.
Now, you said the first time you found her was a reel with Doug.
Yeah, it was like a transition reel. Y'all were going from somewhere like casual clothes to maybe where you were in something gold, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the first one that popped up.
That's another one that went viral.
I'm sure that. So why did that one go viral?
anything I put Doug in, there was like, oh, he's older. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
They just really have a hiccup with the fact, but he's not that much older, is he? What is it, 7, 9 years?
9
years.
Yeah,
So
I think
less
just
than a
because he has
decade.
gray hair. So everybody, automatically assumes he's 20 years older than me, which still wouldn't be a big deal to me.
And then you look younger.
Yeah,
probably.
you look very young.
Have you still not done any Botox?
Never.
Yeah, so Bobby and I are like the holdouts.
You're the holdouts.
We're the holdouts on
Not
Instagram.
against it at all.
I'm really proud of y'all.
Yeah, couldn't be this hoe. Couldn't be this hoe. She has so much injected. I mean, I don't know if she's looking at how she's feeling at any given time. I would love to know her reaction.
No, I can still react. Come on.
I'm just kidding. She really can. But yeah, Bobby and I have held out. We talked about it. So Bobby then came to Charlotte. She was hosted by Erin McDermott Jewelry.
Yes.
And she said, well, I want to meet some of these Charlotte girlies who I've connected with or DM'd with or everything. And I was so delighted to be included. Do I annoy you with my DMs, Bobby?
No, I love it.
Okay.
No.
So, Bobby, at this point, you are still the one replying to your DMs. It's you personally doing it.
Me. Yeah.
Wow.
Nobody else. So that's the one thing I think I've kind of just pride myself on. And it's like every night before I go to bed, I just clear them out. Like I go to the unread, make sure they're all done. And I wasn't like that. Like I'm not really type A. I don't know if I'm really type B. I guess you call me type C. Like I like to be organized and I like things to be where they need to be. But then most of the time I'm just like, it'll figure itself out. Like it's not a big deal. Like I'm not very rigid. But when it's so funny, when I first met Doug, I was one of those people that had like 500 and something unread emails, in the bottom where it's just showing. He was like, all right, there's just a few things that have to be done before we can get married. So we dated 5 years before he finally proposed. And he was like, one of those needs to be 0. Like I literally can't. He is very type A. He's very OCD. And he's like, I cannot have a wife that just like has all these emails.
Who just doesn't care about it. That it doesn't
care to like check them or, see if they're important. And I think it was one of those that just been out there for so long. It's like, there's obviously nothing in there that I even need. So I finally was able to log online, do it on my computer, X them all up. But ever since doing that, I'm like, now I wake up every morning and I do clear it. Like once I got into that habit, my inbox is always at 0. And then, I pride myself on still being able to, go to Instagram and reply. Now, do I miss them sometimes? Absolutely. Or if I find one, Instagram doesn't make it easy to find a message either. They're putting it in this folder and this folder and this folder. I'm like, I don't know.
I have 4 folders right now. 4 folders. That's insane. Why are they all? Why?
And general, requested, primary, auto reply. I'm just like, can you just put them all in one? If I've read it but I haven't responded, like put that somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that would be
so mark it. I do try
now
to.
You can mark it as unread, and then you can go up to filter and hit unread.
Yeah.
Some of those are unread for a reason because I can see the first 2 lines that you've come into my DM with. Right? Do you love the fact that like we can see
it gives a preview
for those words to know that you're trying to not come correct and you're trying to not be a nice girl. So then that I'm not opening. You're not going to see a red receipt from me on that.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate Instagram at least giving us a few words or a few lines even, or if you happen to be in Instagram while it's, it's open and one comes in, you can almost see you can see 15 words sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so then that's when I know, okay, screenshot that real quick. Yep, that's a nasty one. I now have clocked you.
A nasty gram.
Yeah, or if I know it's going to take me like a while to respond, like if somebody has a deep question or, needs me to sit down, like, okay, that I have to wait, for later for that time on my computer and I can like type out a response and stuff. So
what a nice
voice memo too, though.
A voice memo, or another big thing is the wireless keyboard. So you could connect the wireless keyboard Bluetooth to your phone.
To the phone.
And then that way you can be opening and then you can type back really quickly on the wireless keyboard.
That's really
cool. I love a voice memo. And I do feel like my audience loves that. Like some people will write back, I can't believe you took the time to write me a voice memo. I'm like, no, you're actually getting a response quicker from me than I can because I'm usually in my car or I'm doing something. Mm-hmm. And I do feel like it makes it a little bit more personal for them to hear my voice and say, hey, I just want to take the time to like give you this because it's very long-winded. And I feel like you would get a lot more out of me trying to explain it versus trying to like type it. So I utilize that feature all the time on Instagram, like just voice memo through Instagram. So
that's
amen.
So nice.
Okay, let's talk a little bit. I feel like people know who you are kind of now, but can we go back to Bobby Sue?
Sue.
Okay, so Bobby is Bobby with the I to us. But she's Bobby Sue to those who love her and have known her forever.
Mm-hmm.
And, you've opened up about kind of your relationship with your dad, especially lately. But what did childhood Bobby Sue look like? Where'd you grow up? What did that time in your period? Is it good? Is it something you want to talk about, or you want to avoid altogether?
Yeah, we can talk about it. I mean, my path to where I am today is anything but traditional, but I feel like that has given me just a different appreciation for life and for where I am, because I told Erin this the other day on the podcast. I was like, my life could be so drastically different than it is right now, just based off of the seasons that I've been through. So every step, yes, there may have been things that were hurtful or things that I had to overcome, but like, I'm here now and I am just loving it. Like literally finding joy in every single thing that I do, because I know what I've been through, and I know that, you know, I could be somewhere totally different right now. So Bobby Sue is the daughter of Bobby and Susan.
Oh dear.
My dad's name is Bobby. My mama's name is Susan. People called her Sue. Had a tag growing up that she worked for an attorney. It said, "I sue you." That was her personal tag, if that tells you anything.
Okay.
Okay, I love that.
Gangster. Okay.
Love it.
Bobby Sue.
Robert, Susan, you know, it was actually Robert and Susan. So Doug always, when I act up or whatever, he's like, "All right, Roberta, Susan, don't be doing anything." So sometimes that's what I am to him. But I grew up really not too far from where we live now. So we're near Mobile, Alabama, and I grew up in kind of northern Mobile County. It's a little town called Satsuma, and it was, you know, one high school, one elementary school, a couple red lights. Didn't have any. I mean, we had one gas station and a Dollar General. So very small town, but not far from Mobile, which is a major city here in Alabama, lower Alabama. And grew up, went here. I have a younger sister. And so my parents were together, but then divorced when I was in 5th grade.
Okay.
And then my sister and my mom and I moved out. And then my parents decided, no, we're going to give this another go. So they got remarried to each other when I was in 8th grade.
Oh.
And then decided, you know, no, this isn't going to work. So I got another divorce the summer before my senior year of high school.
Oh my God. These formidable years in which they're deciding to break up and get back together and break up and get back together.
She said 5th, 8th, and 12th.
Oh my God. Bobby Sue. I want to hug little Bobby Sue.
Oh my girl.
Because that's tough. Those.
I don't know if I knew that back then either.
Sure, yeah.
You know, so, but looking back, you know, I think there is probably a lot of trauma that haven't been unpacked, or that I haven't really, you know, talked about, or things that, but it's almost like it's a blur, you know, and maybe I don't remember certain things. You know, I've heard that, like when you go through trauma, maybe you just learn to forget, or you don't remember, you know, certain things. And not saying that I had a terrible childhood. I mean, my mom was president of the park where we played softball growing up. My dad coached me in softball. The name of the softball team, my maiden name was Pack, P-A-C-K, and the name of our softball team was Bobby's Pack. I mean, small town softball team, you know.
You had a whole damn team named after you. She's a big deal. She's a big deal. I'm telling y'all that. Here we go. Now we know. It runs deep.
But my grandparents really stepped up. So my parents worked both full time. My dad worked in a paper mill. My mom worked as a secretary for a lawyer. She was a paralegal, and they just worked all the time. And so my grandparents, my grandfather retired, and he pretty much took us everywhere. He would come every Sunday morning, take us to church. He would pick me up from school every day. He would take me and my best friend Courtney. He would have Pepsi and a grilled cheese waiting for us in the back seat. Picked us up every day after school. Like, he was more to me of a father figure than my dad is my dad. Yes. But we just never really had, you know, that type of relationship. And so my grandfather and my grandmother, they really did everything for us. You know, I'm sure they did a lot of stuff too that I didn't even know about growing up, you know, making things happen I cheered and I did softball, and I was involved in a lot of extracurricular activities. And so made it through high school, made it through the last of the divorce of my parents. And
last divorce.
Yeah, the last one. And after high school, I ended up saying, I want to get out of here. You know, I want to get out of this small town. Let's try something different. So I moved to Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So it's about an hour and a half from where I live. So like far enough, but I could still come home on the weekends. And I actually cheered my first year in college and did the sporting.
Yeah.
And I had a great time, had a little too much of a great time. I was on a scholarship and then got kicked off of a scholarship. And so my grandfather got sick during my first year of being at Southern Miss, and I was just not doing well. I mean, I was 17. I didn't turn 18 until July. You know, it was kind of like, I probably didn't need to go off, and I really didn't know what I was doing. Neither of my parents went to college. It's just kind of like, I didn't know what I was doing, and just messed around and ended up losing my scholarship. and pretty much failing out of my freshman year of college. And so I moved home, and then just started working because I really didn't know what else to do. And at this time, my sister is 5 years younger than me. So she's going through, I guess, her 8th grade and first of high school. And my mom is, off dating and just trying to find herself and, figure out what her life's going to look like now. My dad is married to the woman that he had been kind of seeing throughout my, years. And so they're married and they've got her kids and that family. And so it's kind of like, what do I do, when I come back? And I was 18, didn't really know what to do. So I started working. I found a job as a dental assistant. And I was like, well, I can learn. I'm a hard worker. I'm willing to put in the work. So I worked for a dental assistant. And then about 6 months into that job, I ended up pregnant. So I had, I guess I was right after I turned 19. So ended up pregnant with Caroline, my oldest, and had her when I was 20. And then I ended up getting married to her father. And then that was just, it was almost like I was looking for somewhere to go because I didn't want to go home. My mom was starting to dabble in some things that I didn't agree with and recreational drugs and things like that. And it was just kind of like my dad was off having his new, family and their new life. And my grandfather had died. My grandmother was getting sick. And I just clung to what anybody that would, have me. And so
you probably wanted to create there was comfort in creating your own family. If all of this is imploding kind of around you, your nuclear family, it's like, well, then I'll create my own. It doesn't sound like you intentionally got pregnant, but right. So you guys hadn't been dating long, even if it had only been a couple months, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a few months. And then at that point it's like, okay, well, what do I do?
Yeah.
But we decided to get married and try that. And,
did you think that was the right call, or did you think that you guys would work or last? You were just doing what you thought was the right thing to do.
Because what I thought was the right thing, honestly. It was, we only knew each other a few months, and his family was like, you should get married, and my parents were just like, whatever you feel like you need to do, we support you. And so I got married, and unfortunately that ended up being probably one of the darkest seasons outside of what I've gone through with my mom that I've been through. So I was, 21. I just turned 21 right after Caroline was born. I had her in May. I turned 21 in July. And he was an alcoholic. He verbally abused me. Never physically abused me, but it was very, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Made on Netflix, but that was pretty much like what I felt like I was going through for several years. But he would quit, he would get better and things would start working out. And then we had Cammie, so that was 3 years later, and he would get sober. And during all this time, my mom is actually going through rehab. She had become a drug addict in her mid-40s, and it was just kind of like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to figure out being a mom for the first time, and then
without your mom's advice or help or any sage wisdom, because she's caught up in her own addiction. You have a husband who's caught up in his own addiction. And your dad's off having his other family. And the the grandparents who have raised you, it's just
gone at this point.
They're both gone at this point, and you have 2 little babies.
So when my mom went to rehab for the first time on Caroline's first birthday, so she spent rehabbing in Caroline's first birthday, and then she gotten sober and was doing well, and then she unfortunately relapsed again on Cammie's second birthday. She spent in rehab as well. And obviously there's, more to that story, but it was just, again, a formative years of me becoming a very first mom and, having to be a mom to her as well and trying to figure out with my younger sister. And then of course at home, I'm dealing with the same thing, but, totally different. And so finally, I honestly don't know what it was. I don't know if it was God sending me just, this sign that's like, I just woke up one day and I was 20, I guess I was about to be 24, just turned 24. And I was like, I am 24 years old. I have a 3-year-old and a 6 or 7 month old. And what am I doing with my life? Like, what is that? There's got to be something more to this, than my life. And so my mom had gotten, I guess she was still going through that, but because Cammie, she spent in rehab Cammie's first birthday. But then after that last stint in rehab, she got sober, and she's been sober for 13 years.
Yay. Wow. Congratulations.
That's awesome.
Mom.
I'm very proud of her.
I'm very proud of her too. I'm a child of an addict who went through rehab and all the things too. And one of the things I'm most proud of my dad for is once he went in and he came out, he never relapsed. So he just celebrated 22 years sober, and it was a miracle, truly, because, I went to Teen-A-Non. I don't know if you went to like Al-Anon and Teen-A-Nons and all those sorts of things, but they basically tell you 90% relapse. So you have a 10% chance of your person being a success here. Don't look forward to it. Don't anticipate it. And I was like, well, I'm looking for a miracle then, because he's gotta.
Yeah.
He has to. And he will still say to this day, if he were to ever start to drink again, he'd be dead within a month. Because the addiction is so strong.
Yeah. And, so when I finally, so that was, I guess the girls were 3 years and about 8 months. It was in the fall. And I just called, I called my dad. I didn't know who else to call. And his mom, actually, who is my grandmother on, his side. And I wasn't as close to them, but obviously they're still my grandparents. And I was like, I have to have somewhere to go. And my dad obviously didn't have a place for me. So I was like, I'm going to go live with my mama. And so I went out to mama's house, and the girls and I just left.
Hold on. Not mama, Bobby. Not mama's house.
Mama.
Kristen.
This is mama.
She thinks that my grandmother name should be mama. And let me tell you, over my dead body, I be mom. And no offense to your mama, I'm sure she's a great, wonderful woman.
This is different. I mean, this is an Alabama mama.
Yeah, it's not I cannot.
I just feel like she's giving like a generous bosom, like a mama would.
Generous bosoms anymore. 3 years ago, yeah, maybe I could entertain mama. But now that I have, marbles and tube socks, I absolutely cannot be mama.
Stop.
I'm still going to push for it. Just know that.
Bobby, when I bend over, it is sick. It is not okay. It is not okay. I need you to find something for me to wear in that exact position so that.
Yeah.
Okay, I know that's very niche and very specific, but if anyone can, I mean, I buy everything else you tell me to. So find me something that even when I bend over, my boobs look at least like they somewhat should. Okay. Not salami slops waving back and forth. You know, when they hang the meat, when they do the sausage and they hang the meat over, that's my titties. When I bend over, it's just, we swing low, sweet cherry.
Like an Italian market. My God.
Yeah, I'm an Italian market. And this is my cross to bear. And I do need you to find me something. Thanks. So get on that after we hang up here, okay? So anyway,
so she goes to mama's.
Your babies at your sweet little daughters at mama's house, not my boobs.
Yeah,
let's go back.
We're going to pivot back to mama.
Mama's house. I finally left. And I mean, that was the best decision I could have ever, made for the girls and I. And so my mom did go back to rehab. Like I said, she had relapsed, Cammie's first birthday. And then, it just.
Hold on, what did the ex-husband, like, what, was he just like, okay, bye? Did he fight for you? Did he want to try to keep your family together? Anything? Or was he just like, I'm relieved too. I was weighing over my head. I can't handle any of this. I'm an addict. You know what I'm saying?
So, I mean, he wanted control over me and my decisions for the girls and things like that. But, thankfully, my mom had some contacts from, working for attorneys for 25 years. And so, thankfully, I was able to get, a good attorney to help me, figure that out, and was able to get a divorce. And we did do, supervised visitation for him several times, because he ended up quitting drinking, but then he would drink again. And it was just back and forth. So, yeah, he didn't really fight. I mean, I think he kind of knew, like, it was on him, what he had chosen the alcohol repeatedly over his children.
Yeah.
And so I just couldn't do it any longer. And so I left and lived with mama for a few months until I could figure out what I'm going to do. So in all this, I'm working for his family at this time. So I'd left the dental assistant job. And when I got pregnant with Caroline, I was just like, I can't be on my feet 10 hours a day. Like, it was just a lot on me. And so his family owned a chain of drugstore pharmacies in our area. And so I was like, I'll just go work for him. That way I can bring the girls with me if I need to. Anyway, so when I left, I was like, well, I got to find a new job. And I think that's what, kind of took me so long, and I stayed for so long, which I'm thankful I did, because obviously I have both of my girls now, because I could have left, sooner, right? But I think I felt trapped because I didn't have a college education. I was working for his family. We lived on their compound, basically their property, their home. They owned my car. I had literally nothing. And there were a few times I'd come home and he had thrown all of my stuff out in the front yard. There were times that he, just horrible things, that he had done. And so I'm just like, I don't have much, but I've got a little bit, and we're getting the heck out of here, and we'll figure it out. That was kind of maybe my type C. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out what it looks like, but we'll figure it out. And so a friend of a friend, had job at some scaffolding rental place, and they were like, "Do you know how to work QuickBooks?" And I'm like, "I mean, I've used it before. Like, I can figure it out.
Yeah.
I got to have a job, to support these kids." And thankfully, she got me a job. It was just like a little office manager job. I did the billing for some scaffolding equipment. Like, I mean, just this, hole in the wall place, but.
I love that there's a job for everything, though. I've worked a million odd jobs, and people are like, "Really, that's a job?" And just the rental of scaffolding. I mean,
yeah, gotta get it somewhere. You
gotta get it from somewhere. I used to sell dumpsters, same thing. Like I worked at a landfill, and I said, "Yeah, everyone needs to throw out their garbage."
That's right.
It's a great business to have, and scaffolding's never going to be replaced, and dumpsters aren't going to be replaced. So, folks, you've heard it here first. Alert! Alert!
Alert! Alert!
We are here. This is an educational podcast. If you want a secure job, go into scaffolding rental.
I do that this business has closed since then, but there's another one.
There's another one.
There's another one.
Okay, so you're working at the scaffolding place. You're killing it, doing QuickBooks.
Doing some QuickBooks action, and I ended up going out with a friend one night, and it was, I guess, around February, so it was around Mardi Gras time here, and she's like, "Hey, I know you won't have the girls this weekend," so they did go have visitation, with their father, and then his parents would help out a lot because they lived, like, right across the street.
There. Yeah.
So when the girls were younger, they would go every other weekend, maybe even once during the week just to see, their family. And so she was like, "Come to Mardi Gras with me." And I was like, "Okay." So I went to Mardi Gras, and guess who I met there?
You met Dining with Doug.
Dining with Doug.
And I won't forget, it's dining, not cooking. It's Dining with Doug. Met him at Mardi Gras.
Oh my gosh, met Doug at Mardi Gras.
What'd you think? You just laid eyes on him and you said, "Yep."
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. I told myself, like, I obviously went very fast in this other relationship, ended up having 2 kids, and then it was just a terrible situation. And I was so young, and looking back, I'm like, when I left that, I even told myself, I'm like, okay, I'm taking like 2 or 3 years. Like, I'm going to figure out who I am. Like, I've got to find myself. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. Like, I need a purpose. I've got to find something. And obviously another God wink, he's just like, "Nope, this is who's going to help you do that." And I always tell people that, like, I know it sounds so just mushy and silly and like, but Doug helped me find who I am. Like, he helped me give myself an own identity. Like, he was probably the first person in my entire life to say, "You can do, like, why not you? Like, you can do whatever you want to do. And I'm here to just help you." I mean, he was one of those people that was so funny because he really didn't want kids. Like, he said he even turned down dates with people that had kids just because he's like, "I just don't think that's for me." He was 34, I guess, 34, 35 when we met. And no, I guess he was 30.
No, he was 60, right? Based on your comments, based on all of the DMs, he was 65. He had just filed for his retirement, I think.
Yeah. He was, mid-30s. And I think he told me, he's like, "I always thought that I would get married and have kids." And then just when it didn't happen in my mid-30s, I was just like, well, it's probably just not going to happen. So I'm just going to be the bachelor and live life at the beach and do all the things. And so it was so funny. Just, when we met at Mardi Gras. And so obviously there had been some drinks that had been consumed. And so it was like late, in the evening, and we were just sitting here talking. And I was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, like, I have kids." And he was like, "All I heard was singular. I didn't hear the plural at the end. All I heard was And then I was like, all right, I can do one. Everybody can do one. What's
Oh my gosh.
Then like the next morning, we're sitting there all checking out of the hotel, like getting ready to go. And I was like, "Okay, so this is my youngest." And he's like, "Youngest?" I was like, "Yeah, I got 2. It's a buy one, get 2 kind of thing." He's like, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh, and by the way, they're 4 and 1. So like, Cammie's still in the bottle and she's not potty trained." And he's just like, "Oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into?" But he handled it, like a champ. It was just so funny. We've gone through so many different stages of their lives, and him getting to be there in the beginning for Cammie, and then, coming in with Caroline. And now we're like trying to figure out these teen, stages together, which is like a whole new ball game, but at least we're going to do it together.
That's right.
Yeah, so we met, and it kind of was just like, I got an apartment, so I had moved out of Mama's house, and I had me an apartment in Saraland, which is the next town over from Satsuma, the next little small town over.
I love all these names of these small towns. It's so cute.
I love it.
So cute. Tell me more. Read me a bedtime story, Bobby. Okay. And I just want it all about the towns around Mobile, Alabama.
My dad lives in Turnerville. And my mom works in Chickasaw.
But, of course, Chickasaw.
Chickasaw.
Chick. We've been talking about chicks today, okay? Not just Chick-fil-A, the Chicks, the Dixie Chicks, obviously, formerly. Anyway, we don't need to get into that.
Chickasaw. I love that.
Chickasaw.
And so, yeah, we met, and he would drive to Saraland. I signed like a lease for a year. He would drive to Saraland. And then during all this time, I'm still working at the scaffolding place when we first met. And then I got a call that summer after we met about this job that is at Hargrove, and it was just like this engineering firm, and they were looking for a receptionist, but it was very temporary. They weren't sure if it would go full time, but it had the potential to, and all this. And I just remember Doug being like, I think this is your career path. Like, I feel like if you can get it, it's a really great company here locally. And he's just like, I know that it's temp, but at the time, I mean, at that time, the girls were on government insurance. I was getting help obviously because I couldn't afford health insurance for them, and their biological father didn't carry it for them. So, I was like, okay, well, I got them figured out. I was still young enough that where I was on my dad's insurance. Wasn't married. So I think you're on until like 26.
26.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, maybe this is the time that I can take the jump because I don't have to worry about health insurance for us, and I don't need benefits right now, but maybe if I can get in and just work really hard. And 12 years later, I was still
quit. No, I'm just kidding. We'll get to there.
Okay, so that job that you started there, that's the one that you have kept with. You have become the boss babe. You were like hustling.
She went from temp receptionist to basically what I like to think, and I've just made up my own story for you, the top recruiter, then manager of the other top recruiters and all of that. And then she had another like fork in the road kind of situation right when I met her at Aaron's house. I was like, come on, tell me. You can already tell me. I know you're quitting. There's no way. You can't keep up this pace. And she's like, it's definitely in my mind. I'm like, just tell me. You've already drafted the letter. Tell me.
That girl started her notice on Monday. Yeah. But it was almost like, when I met Doug, things just started to shift for me, and my life changed. I mean, I tell people all the time, like, he truly did change my life, and not just even financially because he had a decent job, but just like believing in me and for somebody to say you can do it, and I'm like, I can.
Okay, Bobbi, we have had this exact conversation on here because we both feel that way about our mans.
Yes.
That when you meet that right person, whenever that is, something does click and you become the best version of yourself. You realize I actually want to be my best version for that person because I deeply love them. They're telling me I can do it. Yes. They believe in me more than anyone ever has in my entire life. I think that was true for both of us.
Amen.
And it just, it can be meeting your person for me was not just about love and lust.
I'm so hot. You're hot. Let's make baby. Yeah. It was definitely you see something in me that I haven't even been able to see or recognize in myself.
Yes.
And see, some people would hear that. I think this new generation, or I don't know, certain women will hear that and be like, well, all of your self-worth can't be wrapped up in a man telling you that you can do it. I'm sorry. That sounds like then you have all. That's great for you if that's what you think. But for me, maybe it did take someone else coming in and saying, you're beautiful, you're talented, say what you want to say, use your voice. And it doesn't mean that without Joshua, I can't have any of that. It just means that it's okay if someone saw something within you and you felt like you became a better version of yourself, and you never want to abandon that version of yourself.
That's right.
It's not worth it. You don't even want to go continue to see what else is out there because you already feel really at home now within yourself. And if a guy was able to help you recognize that, we shouldn't fault them or say, oh, but without them, then who are you? It's okay just to say, when two become one, they just know.
That's it. And you obviously are recognizing that was a turning point in your life, was meeting Doug, him believing in you, him getting you to clear out your email, like that. It really
game
was.
Changer. Joshua doesn't make me do.
Yeah. I mean, his family too, like, I always told Doug, so like my mom and I obviously have a strained relationship, and I mean, I forgive her, for everything that she's done to me, and things like that, decisions that she made that have impacted my life, throughout the last 12, 13 years. But we've never had that tight-knit relationship, even before that, where we would go shopping together, or go to lunch together, or hug each other, or tell each other we love each other, just like simple, things like that you yearn for as a daughter, from your mother. And so I'll never forget when I met Doug, I was like, I really am missing that, from my family. And he's like, well, good thing I've got parents that are ready to give it all to you. And they, my in-laws are amazing.
They're salt to the earth kind of people. You post about them. They have swooped in. They help with your children, treat them they are their grandchildren, but by no blood, we understand that, but still they treat them as though they are. There's no distinction whatsoever that they're not.
None. And Doug's an only child. And so, Doug's mom's a retired principal. It was so funny because when I met him, he was like, you want that relationship with with, a mother who's like, I got mine right here for you, and so we just kind of clicked when I first met her. And I'll never forget, I ended up telling her that I had wanted to go back to school. Obviously I flunked out of college when I was 18, and I was like, but I've always wanted to go back and just to prove to myself that I can. And it was a bunch of talk. I mean, I feel like until I met Doug, it was always like, I'll go back one day, I'll go back, and he's like, well, why don't you? And I'm like, well, when the girls get older, I'll have more time. He's like, no, it's not going to work like that. Like, you're only going to get busier, which he can like tell the future,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, he's lived so much longer. He's going to love this episode. We have to lean in. It's a bit, and we survive on bits. Okay.
We do.
So just let him know we love him, but we are going to continue to lean in.
It's like, go talk to my mom. She's a retired principal. She's got contacts at the local college. I was like, well, I'll go talk to somebody if she wants to set it up. Lo and behold, that woman had done signed me up for 2 classes. Yeah. So that is how I started back my college education. I went 2 years to a junior college here, and then 2 years online at a university in North Alabama online, and finished my bachelor's degree in 2019.
That's our girl.
But I mean, without Doug and his mom, like, literally would have just kept putting it off. It's one of those things like, I'll do it. And then they were like, no, you're here. We're going to help you.
Yep.
But they loved me enough and believed in me enough that I could do it while working full time, while having 2 small kids, and that was probably Doug and I's biggest fight we've ever been in, is I had to take biology, and they sent me a frog to my house, like, to dissect it.
Uh-huh.
So, like,
wait, when you're, excuse me, mind blown, excuse me. When you are doing online courses, they still want you to dissect the frog. They're just going to mail it to you, and you're going to do that at home.
UPS, right to your front door. And
I would have ever thought that would have. I would have just been like, no, they're going to figure out a way around this.
Or they would say, like, you need to go to this facility where we have the frogs.
On your kitchen counter.
Correct.
Oh no.
Okay, and I will never forget that now.
I told him, I was like, I'm taking a 0 in this class. I'm not doing this. This is disgusting. He's like, you got to do it. You've come this far. Like, you got, pushing me. And I'm like, I'm going to take a 0.
What'd you do?
I did it.
You did it. I know you did it, because I know Dining with Doug is going to tell you are going to finish that. So
what? Put the gloves on, and I did it.
Oh, the gloves. See, back to the gloves.
We're back to the gloves.
Well, keep them in your kitchen in case you want to make a quiche. All right. So what do you say to people who are like, oh, well, you have daddy issues, and that's why you got with Doug, and blah, 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 blah. Are you like, shut up? Or do you say, yeah, I was needing maybe a male figure in my life, and Doug just happened to be there, but it's not that big of an age difference. Shut up. Like, what is your response? Because I'm assuming, is that what some of the hate is?
Not necessarily. I mean, the only stupid comments are like, is that your dad? Or is that your daughter? Stupid stuff like that, which I'm like, he doesn't even look old. Like, just because he has gray hair doesn't mean
right.
Right. Gray when he was like 40, like 42. And so anyways, no, I mean, and I really don't think that I have daddy issues. Like like I said, my grandfather stepped in and was there for me and just played that role so perfectly. And then my dad and I do have a good relationship. Like, we're good. I understand that he has made choices in his life and chosen, other people over me and my grandchildren and some of those decisions, but I'm okay with that. As I get older, I'm like, that is totally fine. I just, like, I don't need my ex-husband's help. He hasn't paid child support in 8 or 9 years. And it's like,
what is his like, what does he do? Does he see the girls at all? Is there any relationship whatsoever?
None. It's
been his choice, or you?
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, it was the court's choice. But he could have taken me back to try to reinstate his visitation, but he has not. That was September of 2019. So he has been guys on the girls in almost 6 years.
Again, thank God for Doug.
We love you, Doug.
I mean,
stepped in when he didn't have to, and provides financially, emotionally, just whatever they need. And so, but I am at peace with the decisions that my dad has made. And again, we are trying to, work on that every day. And is it the most tight knit and, wonderful relationship? Absolutely not. But I'm just an adult, and I recognize that, like, you make decisions throughout the course of your life, and maybe I don't agree with everything that he did, but I am okay with it. And he's living his life, I'm living mine. I know that he loves me. I love him. I wish the best for, him, and he's going through a lot of health issues right now, and that really has brought us, closer together, just to try to be able to be there for him and, and help when I can. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm okay, and I feel like Doug's mom has kind of stepped in and, helped my sister. I mean, my sister was like such a help to me. So she was, had graduated high school when the girls were born, and I was going through this horrible marriage and just trying to figure out what I was going to do. And she would just come over all the time and be there for me. She would watch the girls when I needed her to. Like, so she's 5 years younger. She actually has a son of her own now. He's 3, but she was just kind of my rock. So I feel like all these people, just were there when they needed to be and played the part when they needed to be.
And when you needed them most. Yeah.
When they needed them most. And then Doug and his parents come in, and now they filled this void where I'm not yearning for anything from my biological parents. I mean, I love them dearly and I talk to them all the time and I help them out when I need, when they need something. But
you're not replacing them with anybody. It's just, this is who's here and this is who I have a deep connection and bond with and who shows me love. And that's
they're
amazing.
Making the choices to do that, right? Like they're actively making choices to be there for my girls, for me, to show up, and help me and things like that. And that's okay. My parents both still work. My dad just retired, but mom still works 2 jobs. She keeps busy because she knows that's what she has to do. She works she works during the week. She's in active recovery still, even almost 13 years later. And so and I don't fault her for that, but does that mean she can come help me out with the girls? No. Does that mean she can come to every event that they have? No, but that's okay, And so I don't know, as I've gotten older, I've just kind of been like,
you've made peace with all of it. And I got to a place at some point, it's just like, whatever happened in the past, and I know we're all supposed to go back and unpack our traumas, and then really, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't need, what I don't remember and what I don't know is for a reason. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But also at some point you have to just, like, you almost have to wake up one day and just say, this is my current life right now. This is what I'm actually dealing with. These are the things that are important to me right now. And how long am I going to be like, well, 25 years ago, my feelings were really hurt about this thing, and carry it into today? We have to at some point let that go and say it's robbing us from the what's happening right in front of our faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobbie, will you speak about the mom of it all? You touched on that you felt like you didn't necessarily have that super close relationship with your mom growing up, where it was like you're hugging and you're feeling all the love, and the milk and cookies kind of mom is what I call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do you, like, what do you do now? Because you have 2 girls. And now they're coming into the teen years, and you seem like a very loving, sweet, sweet mama to them. So have you looked to other women in your life to kind of get the example of that? Or do you feel like you maybe have your own instincts that are kind of kicking in? Like, speak to that a little bit, because I do know that there's several women. We've kind of had our own personal things with that, but there's many listeners of ours who have dealt with some of that too. And we're almost like figuring out how to be the best moms we can now with our kids, Yeah.
No, I mean, I tell people all the time, like, I remember that feeling of not getting that from my mom and wanting it so badly, especially even as I gotten older, and even started to have kids. Like, you would see all these other friends of mine go on mother-daughter trips, and her mom was there at the hospital, and she's making sure that my mom was off doing drugs. Like, I mean, she wasn't there to be there for me. And I mean, I went through a very traumatic birth with Caroline. I ended up having an emergency C-section, had to be put to sleep. I had preeclampsia. Like, it was very, very traumatic. And again, another thing I don't really remember much about. I just remember her being there. But it's so funny because I look back and I tell people all the time, I just remember what that feeling looks like. But it was almost just a natural instinct for me to love on the girls the way I do. Like, it's so hard for me to put into words because I'm like, they will never get off the phone with me. They will never leave this house without me telling them I love them. Like, that's something they will never have to question. Have I questioned it? Do I know my mom loves me? Of course she has to. Like, knowing what I feel for my girls, like, she has to.
Yeah.
Has she verbalized that in 10 years? No, I don't remember the last time she's told me that, but it's like, it is just so natural for me to tell that to the girls and show and express them. But I don't know, I'm a words of affirmation kind of girl. So like, I want to be told all the time, and that's something that I need. So maybe I just feel like they need that too, and I just never want them to question it, because I know that I did, all the time. And I can't imagine. I can't imagine not, like, that's what I wanted. I try to create these memories and experiences for them because I didn't have those, but I want them to have them and look back and say, my mom did this, or even just working all the time. I mean, I hope they know, like, working all those hours and doing 2 jobs and going back to school, like, all of that was literally for you. So you can have a good life, and I want the best for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I always say my North Star has always been, be the mom you needed growing up. So in every every obstacle that you're faced with your kids, they've come to you. They've confessed that they've done something, whatever. It's like, okay, what would little Miranda have needed in this situation? And that's the kind of mom I'm going to respond with.
Yes.
And it's not to say that Mary didn't, my mom nailed it on a lot of things.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially because she was not given a warm and fuzzy mom to learn from. And certainly not a warm and fuzzy dad or anything. So it's like she was doing
she
the
was
best
doing,
she was probably
best.
being the mom she needed growing up. But each generation, if we continue to put that forward, hopefully we'll eventually get to one where none of the kids have to go to therapy as adults. Maybe. And who's to say that that's even the right way? I don't know. I don't know. And the proof will be in the pudding, in the next 5 to 10 years, probably. But so far, it's that, my kids have never said that they hate me. So I consider that a big win. We never had the teenage girl hard years where they hated their mother and they did it, and I hate in slamming door. You're not even allowed to slam a door in my house, period, whether it's towards me, your sibling, or a cat. But I do think that that's always been my North Star, and it's been super, super helpful just to help guide me. Like, how would I have needed that? So that's what I'm going to do. Just be the mom you needed growing up. Yeah. And most of the time it won't fail you because then you're not going to fail yourself at that moment, right? Little you. And so hopefully your kids will respond in a positive way to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know my mom did things for me, right? She made sacrifices that I'm sure I had no idea about. And I got to be a part of several different, things growing up, and she was there for me and did a lot of things. But just the emotional side of it, it's just hard for me to fathom, not acting that way towards my girl. Maybe that is something natural. I don't know.
Some of it's nature versus nurture. Some of it for sure is.
And I think our parents' generation, they weren't a warm and fuzzy generation. Like, you have to think about who their parents were coming home from World War II. Like, it's
they're hard people.
They are.
They're hardened people, and that's by survival, right?
Yeah.
But Bobbi she could say, well, I've had to become hard because of all the things I've survived. And so at some point, again, we have to make that personal decision. Is this how we're going to live?
Yeah.
Or are we going to say, nope, right turn? Nope, no more does my past determine my future. That's closing the door there. Okay, let's talk about closing doors, though. So you eventually, you rise in the ranks at this recruiting office. You seem to be killing it, doing very well for yourself.
Yeah, the best I've ever done. Like, I mean, things just continued to get better. We dated for 5 years, got married, graduated college, moved up. I started at the front desk, like you said. Then I was an executive assistant to our president and CEO. Then I did recruiting team leader. All these things are working, and it's just like, oh my gosh, my life is wonderful, and everything's fallen into place. Yeah.
Did you and Doug ever discuss having children together?
Yeah, we did. And I told him I would have, if he wanted to ever have kids. And he was like, you know what? I didn't want any, and I got 2. So we're good.
So he's good. So just, despite being an only child and, continuing on the family tree and everything, he was just like, I'm good with the 2 and through. I was 2 and through. I totally get it. Okay, I was just curious if that was a discussion that you guys had. I'm sure other people have been curious.
Yeah, and we were like, they're happy, they're healthy. We're good. We're totally good.
Yeah, what more? You didn't want to go for the boy. I can't stand that. I can't stand when people ask me that. Don't come at me with your gender ideology. I don't know. Just stop. I love my 2 girls. Okay, so you're rising up the ranks. And then what made you start posting on, I assume you had just like a regular personal Instagram page where you would post pictures of the girls, and your family would in Saskatchewan or whatever these cute little town names are called are all being updated.
Yeah, so I did have a personal Instagram. I love social media, back when Facebook started, when you had to, I guess, have a college ID to get on Facebook, and I just started there, and I just loved, sharing my life. And Doug, of course, was like, you overshare, you always put too much on there. And he's pretty private. Like, he's not big on social media. He make a post like every year, once a year on his personal social media. And so like I said, when I first started at Hargrove, I mean, I was making hardly anything, especially to be a single mom with 2 girls. And all I really could afford was, it was a corporate job. So I did have to dress up and look nice, and so I would go to JCPenney's, I would go to Walmart, I would have Amazon clothes, like whatever I could find that was affordable. I would wear it. I mean, that's just what I wore. And obviously I didn't have the money to go. We don't have department stores either. I mean, we have Dillard's and that's about it. We have Belk, which is, another good one now, but
we love Belk. Belk built our house. My husband does a lot of the signage in Belk's, and we like to say like they basically pay our mortgage. So please continue to shop at Belk and to promote it. If I could maybe incentivize you in some way, you let me know. Go do some Belk try-ons, babe. Okay.
I love Belk.
Okay, good.
I would just go into the office and everyone would be like, where is that from? And I'm like, JCPenney. They're like, no way it's not. I'm like, yeah, it is. And no, send me the link. Literally, I was sending links like when I first started at Hargrove. And it's so funny because I told Erin even too the other day, I was like, I mean, if I knew I could have been making affiliate commissions off of all these links I was sending for all these years, had no clue, what affiliate linking is or affiliate marketing, anything like that. Obviously, it wasn't as big as it is now. But anyways, yeah, I would just, always love dressing up and styling outfits. I love finding a good deal and making it look like it was more expensive than it is. And I love when people are like, there's no way that's Walmart. I'm like, yep, yes, it is. And this is what it looks like. You can style it this way. And so my high school girlfriends and I usually try to get together like once a quarter, twice a year and just do like this supper club. And we were just sitting there and I was like, gosh, I've been seeing all these influencers and they're like, why don't you just try it? Like, just start a separate page. Like, don't go to your personal, just try to do a separate page. And I was like, I just don't know what I'd call it. And so anyways, I came home to Doug and I was like, I think I want to just like start sharing my outfits. And he's like, why? And I'm like, I don't know. Just like, I just want to start sharing like what I'm wearing to work or like what I'm wearing here. And I'd actually gotten asked to do like a little modeling thing from a local boutique here of a family friend who owns it. And I was like, you want me to like model like at this show? And she's like, yeah, just come. It's like a luncheon. We'll give you a free outfit. I was like, okay. Yep. Sure. So I go to this thing and I'm on, and it was like, that was the first outfit that I actually shared on Bobby with the Eye, was that free outfit that I got because I wore it to work that next day. And so I was like,
what filter did you use? Valencia, what?
Real. It was a real.
Oh, it was a real. Okay.
So I didn't even know it was a reel. I just said it was a video,
Yeah.
What I was doing at the time. And so I remember coming home to Doug and I was like, I just need a catchy name. I need something that's going to be catchy. And he was like, he thought about it for a bit and he was like, Bobby with the Eye. And I was like, yeah, okay, we'll play on words. I like that. He's the funniest person I've ever met. Like, he's so quick, even maybe just not even funny, just like quick and
quick-witted. Yeah.
And I'm like, how did you come up with that? And he's like,
I did that.
He was like, people always put an E, BOBBIE or BOBBY. So do Bobby with the Eye and then an I for fashion. And I'm like,
so good.
So good. Sold. So I started the Instagram page. I mean, I posted on my personal page. And I was like, hey, y'all come follow me on this page that I started. I'm going to share affordable fashion, and every day,
What year was this?
This was July 2023. So almost 2 years ago.
Congratulations. Sorry. I just, my soul left my body for a second, but I'm back to congratulating you. Yes. I was like, she's going to say 2011.
Say it. No, just 2 years.
Just 2 years. Not even. Yeah. Just 2 years ago. Yep. Okay, continue.
So I posted that blue outfit that I was gifted and just started sharing what I was wearing to work, but it was strictly like fashion, like Old Navy, Target. But I just remember like going into the stores a lot because I just couldn't afford to go buy all that. I'm like, how are these people getting all these clothes and sharing all these hauls? And so I'm like, I've got to get creative here. So I would go to local boutiques and just like not even tell them, go in, do try-ons. And then I would post a cute video with some trending audio and just like add them as a collaborator. And then they would accept it and be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming to do that. Like, free marketing for them, right? And so then they would share me. And that's kind of how I started to grow my local following, was because the boutiques who had 8,000 when I had like 500 or 600, I was being shared by them. And so I tried to grow it that way. And then I did tell myself, I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm really going to try to do it. And so I said, I'm going to post every single day for a year. I'm going to post a reel every single day for a year.
Okay. Pause again. How did you even know to think to do that? Were you in any kind of mastermind class? Were you in a comment group?
I think I saw somebody on Instagram say that. So I looked for, when I started the page, or I guess maybe right before I started, I was looking on Instagram for like growth, accounts and things like that. Somebody's like, consistency is key. Like, try to find a consistent cadence that you can do. So whether that's, every day, 3 times a week, like, and your audience will come to expect, when you're going to post. And I was like, well, I feel like every day is probably best, like just to, get it going and try to see if I can do it straight for a year. And
that's what separates the winners from the losers. Okay, everybody, is the fact that in Bobbi's mind, she said every day is feasible and doable. And so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm like, bi-monthly. I don't know.
And she's also like, I have a full-time corporate job.
2 little kids. What is happening? Oh my God, it's amazing. Okay.
So I started posting, and then every day, it was like, sometimes I would go randomly into Target and do a try on and then edit it real quick and then post it that day. But I was like, I gotta do it every day, and see how I can grow it. And it did take a while. Like, I'm not saying it just like automatically just jumped off, but I remember then I was like, well, how can I monetize it? Like, if I'm starting to buy some of this stuff and then like shoot it, and I mean, it's very time consuming.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I didn't realize, obviously how time consuming it was. And I was like, I gotta figure out how to make some money off this thing. And so I had actually reached out to an acquaintance, a friend of a friend who used to work for LTK. And I applied for LTK and was denied a couple times. And then finally, after like the second or third time, I reached out to her. I was like, what do I need to do? Like, I'm posting every day. I'm trying to be consistent. I think I had like 600 followers at the time. It's basically everybody from my personal account that I begged to come over, and then I shared it on Facebook, and everybody at work, I'm like, everybody follow me. And a couple of boutiques had shared me, so I'd gotten a little bit of traction there. I don't even think I had 1,000 followers, and I'd gotten denied a couple of times. She's like, well, you kind of need like 1,000, followers at least, and then posting consistently. But it turns out she ended up going to work for another company. She left LTK and went to Mavely.
Yes.
And it's another, affiliate platform. And she's like, you can just sign up for Mavely. You don't even have to be approved. I was like, oh, immediate,
They were taking anybody at that time, I guess, because they were so new. They just wanted to get some influencer. Yeah. No, not to take anything away from you, not take anybody, but some of them, when they first start, you don't have to apply. You don't need a referral. You just get in. And I've seen you be a Mavely girl the whole way through.
And so they were my first affiliate platform that I ever joined. I was able to start making commissions off of Walmart. I think you could do back then Walmart, Old
Target.
Yeah. I didn't have Amazon at the time. And so I was just like, well, I'll just start sharing all that, more of that, because then that's way I can help, make commissions. And then maybe I can start getting somebody to buy some more clothes and things like that. And then the same contact that I had at Mavely was like, I've seen you've been sharing a lot of Walmart. I'm actually a Walmart campaign manager. And I was like, what does that mean? She's like, well, I can try to get you like a paid partnership. And I was like, for real?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I mean, I think my first one was like, $150 or $200. And they're like, we'll pay you to do a reel. And I was like,
yep.
Yeah, I was sharing it for free yesterday. So, I mean,
and do you know how many pieces of a Walmart item we have to sell to make $150 in commissions? So heck yeah, I'll take your check for $150. Right. Same. When I got my first Walmart collab, I was like, I'm rich. I guess this is bury me now. This is it. And it was 500 or 600, but that was tens of thousands of followers later. And now they've never contacted me again. And I know that did well. I don't know what I'm doing wrong with Target. I mean, with Walmart, because I love Walmart, and I've loved Walmart forever.
And that's what I've said about Miranda. Like, she genuinely has loved Walmart. We both have for years and years and years.
I have been posting their clothes for 7 or 8 years saying, hey, y'all are sleeping on Walmart. That was my tagline. You're sleeping on Walmart. You're sleeping on Walmart. And they finally gave me a collab. I know it did well. And then every time I've written them to say, hey, I would like to do another one, they're like, no. What did I do, Bobby? Well, they're
too busy working with Bobby.
Yeah, they're too busy to Bobby, I guess. You let your friend know that I am an OG Walmart stan. Okay, now that you have her email, could you let her know?
You need to start linking through some Mavely, and maybe.
Oh, you think I just need to jump over there instead of? I went from LTK to ShopMy when everybody told me to do that, but now should I just go over to Mavely?
I don't know. I mean, they were really, really great in the beginning, and just, gave me a chance. And like I said, I didn't have a lot of followers. And then I finally got approved for LTK at the end of December of 2023. So really started linking through there in January. But I still kept Walmart with Mavely because that was like my first paid partnership. And so with the contract through Mavely, you do have to exclusively link Walmart strictly through Mavely. So
I've always wondered. Okay.
A paid campaign with Walmart that month. Then that entire month I have to link exclusively through Mavely. And so I've just been a loyal Mavely girl for Walmart. But in case, another collab comes up and I want to make sure that I've, exclusive, and they can see all of my sales through there, all that. So yeah, I started with that. And then, so in January of 2024, so last January is when I finally started linking through LTK, and I started to see a little uptick, in that, because then I could link almost any brand. It was so nice to be able to have just more freedom to do a lot and link really all kind of different brands. And I had 2,000 followers last January.
I know, that's crazy.
Which is crazy.
Can you see? I think we can see when someone starts following you. I think we can see that in the app.
You can go back and see when someone started, because you're going to see when you started following her.
Yeah. Or I think she has access to that, even if I don't have access to that.
Yeah, and that's like one of the reel you're talking about had to have been end of February, early March of last year. And
Okay.
So do you feel like reels popping off for you was really the key to
yeah,
people just discovering you, falling in love with what
it
they
was
saw, and then hitting the follow?
I mean, I feel like it's a combination, honestly. Like I told somebody, like I'm not going to sit here and discredit the work that I've put in because
Sure.
literally put in so many hours
Yeah.
and worked hard at it. Like I said, every single day, and I still post every day. Like I didn't like just cut off after the first year. I kept going and building on the momentum because I saw it starting to grow. But I do feel like it's, a viral reel. That's how you found me. And then hopefully you'll stick around. I was talking to somebody about that the other day. They found her through a recipe, but then she's like, I started posting my toddler mom content and then they just left because they found me for the recipe. And so it really just depends on like how they found me, like what reel went viral, if it was me and Doug, and then I still incorporate him in some things, like they enjoy seeing that. So I do feel like it's, the viral reel, the algorithm. I mean, it's a little bit of luck, like what it decides to share and what it decides to not. I mean, things that I thought were going to do wonderful, don't. Things that took me 5 seconds to literally, I was leaving work one day and, did an outfit and it got 5,000 comments and, 500,000 views. And it's like, I didn't even think about that. Like I was just, doing, so it's a little bit of luck, I would say, a lot of hard work and figuring out how to not train your audience, but give them what they're coming to your page for. So I feel like they're coming to feel good. They want to feel good. So I'm trying to have an upbeat and positive attitude. And that's what I literally have is zest for life because as you've heard, like my life has not been easy. So where I am today, I'm like, I'm living my best life, like truly, and I don't take it for granted one single day. And so I do try to share that. I share the real and raw moments of, being a teen mom. I mean, raising teen girls and being a mom and up until recently working a 9 to 5 and then, what I'm doing from 5 to 9 after I get done with my corporate job. And I feel like people just kind of love to be able to relate to that. And that's really when I saw my account start to take off. Like last summer, I would say was kind of the turning point where I think I had 25,000 followers in August of last year. And here we are almost this August and I'm at 128,000. So you got to think 100,000 people for some reason, have decided to want to come because they just, a lot of people write me all the time. They're like, I just feel like I can relate to you. Like you're real, but you kind of find the joy in the chaos and you still look cute, but I can afford it. But if I want to splurge on this, I can because, you say you recommend it. And I don't know. It's been a whirlwind, honestly.
Yeah, I think because you come across truly who you are. You're authentic, you're relatable, you seem like everyone would want you as their neighbor or their friend. That's what you're exuding, not only just sitting here talking to you, but you do manage to show that also through your Instagram, which I think is hard. Because we're told to like sort of curate it and it should look nice and it should look polished, but you're striking the balance between the two, like keeping it real enough that people want to stick around and they're not annoyed when your content pops up, right?
Yeah.
I think we've all followed those girls where it's like, after a year, like, I don't want to see you anymore, and it's just like, it's too perfect. It's too, I just can't. I don't relate to you whatsoever. But I think you've really threaded that needle and Instagram is liking what you're putting out.
They're loving it.
They see that people are relating to you and they see that you're responding to your DMs personally every single night.
And the comments too.
Yeah.
I mean, you're spending a lot of time doing that. And tell me this, how much of your time is spent going back to get your tripod?
It's too much. I need to do one of those videos that was like, if I never turned it off, or if I didn't edit this part out, because I've probably got so much footage of that.
I just know that if someone were following you around with a camera, getting all the B-roll of you doing your thing, how much time is spent going back and grabbing the phone, going back and grabbing the tripod, going back to set it up, then going back to pick it up and going to set it up. I mean, this is what you're doing all day long.
Yeah. Well, this is why she couldn't keep the 9 to 5. Okay. Exactly. It's a lot of work. People need to understand that. These influencers, it's a lot of work.
All that, then you got to sit down and edit it at night to get it ready live the next day. So that's the
a superstar.
That was the point where I came to, I was just like, I still genuinely have so much fun with this and it's just been a joy. Like,
what do your daughters think of this?
They don't love it when it's 6 a.m. and they're getting ready to go to school and I'm packing their lunches and they come out and it's like a camera, like right in their face. They love the fun PR packages. They're proud of me though. I do feel like they're proud of me and I feel like that just makes it even sweeter because they are old enough to understand the work that goes into it. And Cammie doesn't have social media, so she's 13.
Good job.
Just got Instagram at 14. And so she's 16 now. And so, she can see it and she's, it, but I do try to be conscious about what obviously I'm putting out there to make sure that I'm not like totally embarrassing them, and I do ask them, if they want to be a part of it, and I give them that choice. And I think I've talked to some other moms, they're like, I started blurring my kid's face out because they don't have a choice yet. And they're not, and I am thankful for that they are old enough to where they can say, I don't really want to do this one. Or can you just edit me out? Or don't put that in there because I look, they're very conscious of their looks right now. And, I do just want to be sensitive with that. But for the most part, they think it's fun. I mean, Cammy will hop in a reel with me and, do a dance with me. Or if there's a skincare, like we just did a little teen skincare brand and she was so excited to do that, so like, I try to incorporate it, but we are just having fun, with it.
Well, you do the Caroline Newly unboxing, which is really cute.
Like and I like to do the banter between, people like the banter between she and I, and then I'll get her face, rolling her eyes at me because everything I say is just
so cringe.
I literally know nothing about what I'm talking about in life. And so, I like to play with that. And so we have fun with it. It's great. And like, we're going to a concert Saturday night here locally at the amphitheater at the Wharf. And, they're hooking us up with VIP tickets to go to the show and like dinner. And I'm like, they get to enjoy some things.
Oh, yeah.
So they're not hurting too bad, but they just don't like a camera in their face all the time. And Doug's so funny. He's like, I come out of my office and I don't know if there's going to be a tripod set up in my kitchen or a tripod set up in my bathroom. Like, I'm just trying to get a shower. Like, let me live. And I'm like, everybody always knows, like, I got my camera.
I'm ready for you to do the pocket slide door in the closet, but it's going to start with you, and when it opens, it's going to be Doug. I want that transition. I just think that would be funny. Not me, being your creative director or anything like that.
Hey, I need some ideas.
No, you do not. You are killing it. So you didn't ever join like a comment pod or any of those sorts of things. Those kind of, I feel like, all predated you. I feel like that was very like 17, 18, 19.
I got a couple DMs a few times about like these groups, that wanted you to join to comment and like and try to grow your following that way. And I don't know, it never felt right to me. I always wanted it to be organic. I always wanted it. And I always heard they're like, brands will always know if you got fake followers, like they'll be able to find it out. I'm like, and especially even just this shift recently with me leaving my corporate job, I was very nervous to do that because I just didn't know, do I become completely unrelatable at that point because I'm just another influencer who quit her job? And, we talked about this in Charlotte. It's like,
we did.
I was so scared. And I don't know why. Like, I
knew why you were scared. I was scared for you, girl, because it was weird like you just said, you built your audience on the 9 to 5 and then after my 5 to 9, right? And so you had built them, and so you had trained them and conditioned them in a way to know to expect that you are a full-time corporate girly working mom, blah, 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 blah. And so if you decide to leave that, does that abandon your brand in a sense? And what do people think about that? Because now you're just another influencer who is making their money off of the links and off of the affiliates and off the partnerships. And so now all of her money relies on us. And so do I like that now? And that I could see why you were nervous. But like I told you that day when you finally announced, I was like, you could not have done it more perfectly. You couldn't have said it in a better way. And Bobbi basically said, I don't know if you saw the reel, but when she decided to announce that she was leaving her corporate job and going full time, she said, I'm betting on myself.
Oh.
I'm betting on myself that I can do this and I have to. Like, I have to do that. And I hope that you want to stay with me and stick around with me to see if it pays off, if I can do this. You couldn't have had a PR firm write a better messaging there, Bobbi, and I don't know if you did, and you don't have to tell me.
So I literally felt I didn't know if I was going to post it because I had talked to several other creators who have done this job, and some of them did not get favorable feedback. And so like they're not hiding it, but they're just not announcing it, like that they left their full-time job. And I don't know, maybe it's just my morals or whatever. I told Doug, I was like, I have to tell them. Like, I share my entire life. Like, they're gonna know if I'm not going to the office anymore, because I did rent out another office space because I do know myself and I do know that I need to get up and get dressed and go to the office a few days a week. And I still like getting dressed and sharing my outfit of what I am going to wear to the office. I may not be going from 9 to 5, but I might go for a few hours and knock out some emails and, source some things and, whatever. And I was like, there's no way I can go to this other office and then just be like, oh, I'm not telling y'all, but I quit my job, after 12 years. And so it was literally on the way to my last day at the office. And I was just overwhelmed with like so many emotions because that job also changed my life.
Yes.
That's what I meant when I was saying that, like, I think when I started there, I was making $13 an hour, and, I was 24, 2 kids who were 4 and 1. Like, it was not a lot to live on even back then, that was years ago. And so they took a chance on me, and again, changed my life and made me, who I am today, professionally, personally. I've gained friends that become family. I was in their wedding. Like, it was just a wonderful chapter of my life. And so to leave that, but to do it because who's going to work harder than me, right? For me, like, it's me, and it's all on me. But then I wanted them to know, my audience, that, like, now I'm depending on you, and I know that you'll be there to support me. I'm hoping that you will be, but it was real and raw. And I was literally driving to the office for my last day, and I remember hitting record, and I was like, am I going to share this? Or maybe I just do a reel where I'm like doing a voiceover and I talk about my last day and me getting my stuff out of the office. But I don't know. I just felt like I needed to be real with them and just say, like, I hope you'll stick around. And they had, like, it could not. And that's what I think I was getting to about, like, losing followers. And I was like, I'd come to peace with that. But, like, if I lost 10,000 followers because people don't want to be here and support me on what this next chapter is in my life, then so be it. And if I lose it, I'll lose it, because I've grown it all organically anyway. So I do feel like they're real people that really want to see me succeed, which is wild to say that, like, 128,000 people, and some of them obviously don't see my content anymore, but it's like, over 100,000 people want to see me succeed and be happy. And, like, it just blows my mind. It really just blows my mind. But then I was so pleasantly surprised because the feedback was just.
I was looking through it. I'm like, because I was ready, to go to battle for you.
To say something. Come on.
I was ready to take my earrings out and come in as, bodyguard Miranda for Bobby with an I. And I was just ready to go. And I'm scrolling down, just waiting. I was probably pissed off that day about something anyway. So I said, go ahead.
Yeah.
I kept going and going. I said, there's not one negative comment here. That's crazy. Or even just somebody being passive aggressive. Yeah, I was even expecting just a little bit of that.
And I was ready for it. I told her I had made peace with that. Like, once I made the decision to hit, post, I was like, if somebody like, I know some people will be upset. Maybe they won't voice it, but I know some people will say, well, there she goes, another one, quitting her corporate job. So now I become not as relatable. But, talking to you all in Charlotte, like, you really did give me the confidence, because just hearing from you all on your outside perspective of it, you're like, that is a small piece of who you are. Yes, you're a corporate girly. Yes, you've worked your time, but you have so many other facets that you can share with people, and even still lessons and things that I've learned from being a, in corporate
recruiter.
I mean,
I think also, like, you don't want to discredit. I mean, literally, it's Bobby with the eye. You do have an eye for things, and putting outfits together, that is a gift and it's a skill. And so you're still putting out there something that you're very, very good at, and it's valuable to the people that are consuming your content. They are going to you for ideas. They are looking for the cute new thing at Walmart or whatever it might be, affordable fashion, but still looks really high end. That's what you're giving people.
And you're still wearing that every day. That's what I told her in Charlotte is, yes, some people are going to be like, there just goes another one who quit her job, because we are now making her so much freaking money through influencing that, we've lost another one. But I was saying it would also be different if her content was sharing about corporate jobs. Like, if it was sharing about, here's how we recruit engineers, and this is the best way to do it. Well, then people might be like, well, so you quit the engineering recruiting job. There's no more reason for me to be here. But you were showing your 9 to 5, but still it was what you were wearing, what you were drinking out of.
Doing after,
and then what you're doing after.
Like, I'm still going to have to be running or can be around from volleyball to this, and I'm still going to look cute. I'm still going to put on a cute outfit while I do that.
Correct.
I'm just leaving a different office, or I'm going to be leaving my house instead. So that's what I try to portray too. And
did you lose any? You didn't see any negative comments, but did you see a massive, like, dip or anything?
I gained 2,000 followers.
I know, at this girl.
Because she's just so likable.
She's so likable.
She's so sweet. And
I tell you though, like, I turned in my notice a month before.
Yeah.
And I let my boss know and worked out a month's notice. And during that month time, when I turned in my notice before I left my job, I was losing followers. Like, I was going through just this dip, and I was like, dang, this is not a good sign. I just turned in my notice, and I'm like, am I making the right decision? And because obviously I was very conflicted for a long time. And so anyways, the day I turned in my notice, the day that I posted that video I was talking about, where I just literally filmed my outfit as I was leaving the office and we were going to a wine bar, that video combined with the one where I was quitting my job, I've gained 2,000 followers within 2 days. And I was like, this is it. This is the sign. Like, it honestly just made me feel so reassured that I thought I was going to lose, 10,000 followers or something. And here I am gaining it. And it's like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. It does feel good to just, I know words of affirmation is my love language, but like that is people showing me like, we want to be here. We're here to show up for you. We're going to support you, whether you're working at corporate or whether you're doing this full time. And it's just been unbelievable.
Well, it sounds like, for you to say you're betting on yourself. From everything I've heard here today, like that's what you've been doing
your whole life,
your entire life, from switching from one job to the next, or maybe leaving a toxic relationship and going out on your own as a single mom. Like all along, you've been betting on yourself, and it's brought you here. So I hope you feel really confident going into this next chapter, because I don't want to just say like, oh, it's working out for you. Like you are taking the gamble, but who you are, like the essence of who you are, is shining through.
Yeah.
And that's what attracts the Doug into your life, and what makes Doug's parents want to like come alongside you and help out when they can.
Yeah.
And, because I'm sure that you're really pouring into the people in your life too. And even your followers, like you're doing it. Keep doing what you're doing, because the sky's the limit. It's crazy.
I'm so happy for you. So how's it been?
Don't be jealous, Marie.
I'm not. I love her. I've shared her a million times, obviously.
I know. She
y'all's podcast that first time it went, you're like, who's Bobby? And you're like scrolling through, and I listened to that. So nobody has ever done that for me. And that just like made my entire year.
My
like,
God,
sorry, strangers. Like literally.
I can't handle that.
Don't cry.
It's so sweet. Well, everybody needs somebody to cheer for them. And I am a cheerleader, and I've always been a cheerleader. And I'm really, when I see something, I say something good or bad. But yeah, you were special. I saw that reel with you and Doug. Then I think April Robeson followed you a couple times, or I'm sorry, she shared you a couple times, and I trust April with everything. She's literally my Bible study leader. She, knows the deepest, darkest parts of me.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, and she has a great sense for like good and bad.
Yeah.
And so I just knew, okay, if April said Bobby's great, then she's great. Like whether she met you or not, it didn't matter to me. So I instantly hit follow. And then I was so inspired by you as a creator who really struggles to gain followers. And I hear all the same compliments that you get, but it just doesn't translate into hitting the follow button for me. Now my ride or dies, they would die for me. Truly, they would die for me.
Yes.
And I can't overstate that. They might want me to die and put me in their basement. I don't know. Some of them would wear me like, skin, but I do. And I appreciate the loyalty. I do. But I'm not consistent with it. And I definitely have never treated it as much like a business as I need to. And even the times when I've gone viral, I just can't figure out who I am. I don't want to niche down. I think that it's really hard for me to do it. There's too many things. I don't know. My ADHD just won't allow it. There's so much I want to share and talk about. And that's that editing part of it, to edit myself down. I just don't see it happening. But it's funny to listen to all your compliments. Relatable, always replies. Seems like it's somebody who you could go just have dinner with, and affordability. And I don't ever talk about like bougie stuff. Like I've never put myself out of the tax bracket of anybody to like be able to follow and so I hear all of that, and I'm like, then why don't you follow me? Like, how hard is it just to press follow? You follow 8,232 people, but I can't be the 33rd. It's interesting. I really struggle with that. And even the things I've gone viral on, none of them had links. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. I've just, gotten unlucky. The things that have links don't pop off. The ones that don't do. But that's just something that I'm just going to continue to try to figure out. But I've obviously been incredibly inspired by you and want to see all good things happen for you. And just, there's nothing really, I think, I can't give any kind of advice because you're already doing everything.
She's advising us.
Yeah, no. I'm like, if only I wrote some of this down, I guess, but I'll just listen back.
I feel like, somebody always asks me like, what is it? And I'm like, I wish I had the secret sauce. I wish I don't gatekeep. Like, I'm always happy to answer questions, give a referral, like whatever I can do to help, because I truly feel like there is a seat at the table for everybody. Like there's so much out there that like everybody can get a piece of the pie. Like I will give you a contact at Walmart. I will do this. I will try to help refer you. Like I have seen what it's done for my life and the joy it's given me, the skills that it's unlocked. Like y'all, you said something, Kristen, earlier, like the creativity, or you were always, I'm just like, if you'd have asked me 2 years ago if I was creative, I would have been like, absolutely not. Like, I don't feel like I have a creative bone in my body, but this has like unlocked. I know how to edit a reel in like, 20 minutes. I can, come up with this idea and then execute it. And it's like, I couldn't draw a stick figure. Like, I'm not creative in a sense of like artistic or anything like that, but this has just unlocked like this whole side. And here I am in my late 30s. And it's like, found this new career and like all these things that I'm good at. And I'm just like, it's just been amazing. And so, yeah, I'm very thankful. And people are always asking like, what did you do? And I'm just like, I really wish that I could like put my hand on the one thing.
You posted something every freaking day, Bobby, which is bonkers. Hard work, unheard of.
Yeah. And I did. I mean, when I did start to see it, like you mentioned, a business, like, and I feel like when people do it as a hobby, that's really sometimes all it will stay as. Yep. And having Doug obviously has helped tremendously because once he started to see that, okay, people are purchasing things and there is some money to be made here. He's like, we need to make this, more of a business mindset. If you think this is what you can do, or you think you can grow it, like, let's kind of turn it. And I remember last summer, we kind of, once I started opening up my life a little bit more, not just strictly fashion, like just fashion, when I started doing the come along with me and, hey, here's my day. And I didn't think anybody would want to see it, but then now they do. They just want to see like me hanging out with the girls and, what we do on a normal day and how we kind of handle our day and things like that. When it started to pick up like that, I was like, gosh, maybe this could be a business, so I started LLC and we were like, okay, let's start, treating it as a business. And I do feel like when that shift happened from just a hobby to a business, like then you're like, okay, now I really want to see it succeed and let's see how we can grow it and what we can do and throw things at the wall and see if they stick. Like I've had several ideas too that have flopped. Like, don't get me wrong. There's been things that.
Name one.
All right. So I had idea that I was going to, for Mother's Day, this most recently, I was like, this is going to just pop off. I'm going to be able to make, all this commission from links that, if you click this link, it's a Google form, you give me 3 items that would be like your dream items that you would love to get for Mother's Day or your birthday or anniversary. Send those links to me, those 3 links. I'm going to link them through LTK. And then you send me your partner or your best friend or your husband, whoever you want them to go to, just their email. And they're going to get a curated email from me saying, hey, somebody that, somebody special to you, these are their top 3 things. They would love to be surprised with one. That way, you're getting something that you want, but you're still surprised because you don't know what they're going to pick out.
Love this idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was going to be great. 17,000 people saw my story that day. 27 people filled out the form.
27.
I was like, okay, well, that flopped.
Okay, but wait, what was the conversion? So if you did send it, did you get any purchases through the links?
I mean,
it's hard to tell.
Yeah. I don't, and then some people would send things that were like a spa gift card. I was like, well,
can't do anything with that.
Great. I mean, I did send it, and it was time consuming because then, I'd take the link, I would go link, but then I was
very time consuming.
Just thinking that even like if 1,000 people responded, and that would be, 3,000 links that I could send out to these people, that they would come back to the link maybe for their birthday or come back to the link for their anniversary. I thought it was genius.
Dang.
Yeah, that. I mean, it sounds like a great idea.
But it's interesting when you are requiring people to do something
for themselves
that they have to actually put in the effort to write that out. They're just quick to click off of it.
Or I also think women, it's so unheard of to think that, okay, well, I could just ask for what I want. I could just, tell me.
Ask for what I want. I was like, Doug, I was like, any of this, and if this is the color and size, and if that way you're going to get what you want. Like, I don't know, Doug's the best gift giver, though, honestly, so I rarely have to do that. But he thinks, if his mom's like, what do you want? I'm like, well, I could always use a nail gift card. I love experiences. I could always get my brows done. I'm always going to go get the, my hair done. So give me a gift card to any of those places, and that will be so nice to not have to pay for that,
Yeah.
I think that's part of my struggle in the creator as we're sitting here talking. And I've kind of ruminated on this idea before too, that I am such a minimalist by nature.
Yeah.
The idea that my job is centered around things.
Yeah.
Needing to buy things, needing to link things, and then needing to tell people that they might need these things too. Yeah. That there's something in me, because I don't like to procure a lot of stuff myself. Yeah. I mean, we just have, it's just not in my nature. But 2, we have a tiny house, and so there's not much place for anything to go anyway. But it's just I'm not a gift receiver. It makes me uncomfortable a lot of times. I'm like adjusting my shirt just thinking about it. But I struggle with that. But at the same time, it's like, well, I know people are still looking for things that you still got to wear a bathing suit every year. So, hey, here are the ones that I think are the best this year from Amazon. Please purchase one of them.
Those are so good.
I've been trying on bathing suits for many, many years. I feel like I was not the first, but I was one of the only ones who was in a size large or extra large, 12, 14, showing them without filters, without anything. So I feel like I was one of the only people doing that. And so, it was kind of the bread and butter of it. And of course I've noticed a dip since my body has changed in that, because that's how people started following me and came to me. And, a lot has changed in the last year and a half with my content, even like less DMs in general and everything. And it's hard not to say, oh, it's because I lost weight, but all of the graphs line up to that exact moment that it was like here and then here. As my weight went down, so did all the engagement, so did all of the purchases, so did all the money, so did all of the collaborations. And it sucks because, and I know that you've told your followers that you took a GLP-1 and what a difference it made for your health and your life and all of that sort of stuff. And so for me, I know that too, but it's hard not to almost take it personally that everything went down. I'd only had a negative effect for my business when I lost the weight. And a part of me understands that, because I'm like, hey, if you found me when I was bigger and you saw yourself in me, and that was the relatability component of that follow, of course I can understand that. But my God, like the least interesting thing about me is my weight, so I thought that I had a lot more to offer to people besides my body. And what the statistics are saying is you didn't. And that of course I'm going to take that personally. That's hard not to take personally. So I just feel like there's a lot that I gotta, and what's the oddest part about it, and this is about me now, so the interview with you is over. No. What's odd about it is that I wasn't, hey, I'm plus size Miranda, follow me because I'm plus size. I never, it wasn't in my bio. I wasn't using body positivity hashtags. I wasn't saying healthy at any size. Like I wasn't doing any of that stuff when it was really big on Instagram, even to kind of do it. I didn't put myself in that. So I'm like, I never even marketed myself as that. I can't help that the size I tried on was a 12.
Yeah.
So it's been difficult to figure out what I do kind of from here. And then especially now that I've been the same size for a year and a half, like, have I proven to y'all yet that like I'm still good? And I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot in the brain. This isn't a therapy session. But you lost weight, but I don't think it was as much, so maybe it didn't seem as jarring, or maybe you had already lost it by the time you started this, and so it didn't really have anything to do with it.
Yeah, I had already. So we started.
Lucky you. No, I'm just kidding.
At the right time, I guess. No, I lost 40 pounds, and then Doug lost 80.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's been life changing. So it was 2021. We ended up seeing a picture. I think it was 2021 or 2022, and we were on our anniversary trip, and we both were just like, okay, it's time to do something. Well, when we first started dating, all you want to do is go eat. That's what you do when you're dating, and then we dated for 5 years, and then we just happy, and we just kind of just let ourselves go. Anyways, once we started seeing the weight come off with the GLP-1, he just got motivated. That man, he has walked
every day, right?
Almost he walks at least 2 miles, some days 3. Like the other day he walked 5. Every single day. He's over 1,000 days at this point. I think he's at like 1,100 now. And I'm telling you,
in this southern heat,
I know.
That's through the snow, through the rain. And he walks outside, so he doesn't do treadmill. He walks outside every single day, and he goes to the gym twice a week. Like, I mean, it changed our lives literally, and just made us, make healthier choices. And, so yeah, I always scream it from the rooftops. I'm like, and people always say, well, you looked fine, to me. And I did, I was fine. I just wasn't out there, saying, oh, I need to lose weight. But it was just like, I feel so much better. We're both making better choices now because some of the weight, has come off. But yeah, I'm so proud of him. He's still walking like crazy. He even had like he had surgery one night, so we had to be there like at 7. So he just stayed up till midnight so he could get his day in. Like he would walk from 12 to 1, then go to sleep, and then we had to go have surgery at 7. So the man is
crazy. My gosh, that is crazy dedication.
Oh, well, I just love Doug. I'm gonna have to go follow Doug.
I love Doug.
I just kind of that motivation. He's like, at this point, it's just like discipline and habit. Like it's not even motivated. Like I'm not motivated to go do it. I just like it's a part of me now. So I mean, it's crazy. We go on vacation. It's a non-negotiable. It's like Doug's going walking before we go to dinner, or Doug's going walking.
She's going to post a reel.
He's on my phone. So yeah,
that's why she was able to do it. She said he's going to walk. I'm going to edit. I'm going to edit this reel real quick. It doesn't take away from any of our time. Not dining, hopefully, not dining with Doug time.
Oh, no.
Well, Bobbi, I know we've taken up plenty of your time. Speaking of it,
this is a joy. It was so fun to chat with y'all.
Well, I just want to say thank you, because when we talked about you on our podcast, however long ago that was, whenever that was, and we talked about you, at no point was there an expectation for you to share it. And it's all the more like meaningful and special to us when people do share it, and not only share it, but like you screen record it so that they could hear it, and then you added a link, all these things that, you know, we would love for any of our regular listeners to do too, just to help promote us and share about us. But when you did it, it was like so unexpected, because I know that people pay to get that kind of exposure in your feed, and the fact that you were just willing to do it, it really genuinely meant so much to us. And every time you've done it since, just so you know, there's never an expectation of that. But it means so much, as you know, when someone shares you or follows or does whatever, what it does for you internally more than it does, you know, even like tangibly. It's been really, really nice, and I've just loved getting to know you and consider you a friend. And thank you for including me in the Charlotte meetup. And you are just as lovely. You know, I was scoping it out. I was like, what's she really going to be like? Is she going to be the real sweet, everything? And you are everything. You are everything in real life as you are online. And it's refreshing to see. It's like they say, never meet your heroes, right?
Yes.
Or never meet your faves, or never meet that one celebrity, and all of that sort of stuff. And so I think that that's true for influencers too, for sure. You know, maybe it's better just to not know them in real life or to see them, but you absolutely blew everyone away. And I know that I felt that you were so genuine and kind and sweet. And I'm like, we made the right girl viral. We made the right girl famous, you know?
Y'all, can I just keep you around all the time? It'd be so sweet. You know, you just give me all the words. No, genuinely appreciate that. And just honored that you wanted to have me on your podcast. Can I ask how y'all got started?
In the podcast or in friendship?
Both.
Okay. So how we started our friendship is there was a Jersey Shore party being hosted by our mutual friend Lisa and Brian Strump. The Strumps were hosting a Jersey Shore party. And what did I do?
Okay, so Jersey Shore, the TV show, you come gym, tan, laundry with the big bump it, the whole thing. So that's how we all arrive, except for one girl.
Me.
Came dressed like she was on a day at the beach.
At the shore. I had never seen Jersey Shore. I did not know much of the lore of it. Now I do. I'm, besties with Snooki and JWoww and Ronnie. And
Ronnie!
The situation, I know he went to jail. Like, now I know all of it. But at this point, I was freshly postpartum, 2 little babies, had a bakery out of my home. I didn't have time, and we didn't have cable. So for me, a Jersey Shore party is like a beach party.
A beach party.
I came in a bathing suit, a towel, and a straw hat.
Big hat.
And I walk in and I'm like, my God. I don't, something is not like the others. And this girl, I think, just took pity on me. She was like, who is the special one? So around the fire pit, we just kind of commiserated over struggling as adults to find friends.
Yeah.
We were both in our mid-20s, I guess, at this point, and kind of like
trying to find other young married couples who were starting families. Like, we were doing that very young.
Yes.
So, we just kind of realized, like, we both had the gift of gab. We both loved to talk.
Bobby's like, tell me young.
Yeah.
I was just behind you. I mean, I was engaged at 21, had a baby. Yeah, all of that. So I had a baby by 24 or something. So I felt like I was early. Kristen had just gotten married and was definitely wanting to start a family. And so I think it was just like, how do we go from our college girlfriends who are still like traveling the world and, sleeping around and everything, like, God bless them.
Yeah.
But I've committed to this one. And so now what? And we just were kind of talking, it's kind of hard to make female adult friends. And we just kind of looked at each other and we're like, well, do you want to be my female adult friend? And so
we said yes. And then we became Facebook friends, which made it official, as you know.
It was like, hey, here I am on your Facebook. Remember when you would act like that was texting? Like, so do you want to see me tonight? Let me know.
It's right on their wall. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, we just wrote on each other's walls. We had phones to text.
Yeah.
Instead, it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like, hey, girl. So stupid. So that's how we met. And then we didn't get super close because she still has so many friends, Bobby. You wouldn't even believe the amount of friendships. It's hard to make adult female friends. She has 7 billion of them. But, we can't all be the top and my glass is highest. So it took us years to kind of get to the like, I tell the story that we were in the mountains at her mountain house. And we were sitting there and we were just talking kind of deep about something. We go from ratchet to deep, real like ping pong.
Yes.
And so I think at one point I was just like, and it's just always been hard for me because I've never had a best friend. My sister has had the same best friend her whole life. Well, eventually they had a falling out. I don't know if she listens. Anyway, but she's had her same best friend her whole life, and I never had a best friend. No one ever wanted to claim me as a best friend, and I don't know. It's just always been like, what's wrong with me that I've never been able to have that? And I don't know if Kristen said it to me first or if I said it to you first. Do you remember?
I don't remember, but
it'd be sweet if it was like, so then Kristen said to me, well, you're my best friend. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Well, you're my best friend. And then I was like, well, you're my best friend. And it was like this declaration of like, do we go get the necklaces now?
Yeah, we literally made a declaration.
Yeah, like, okay, so are we best friends? And then immediately, the funniest part of it is like, I started to sweat a lot. I got really hot within my body. And I said, is it too late to take it back? And she's like, why do you want to take that back? And I was like, what if I disappoint you? What if I think when you call someone your best friend that there are expectations that come along with that. And it's, calling and being there and remembering things. And at this point, I still couldn't remember what her birthday was. I just couldn't commit it to memory.
But see, I just don't care about
She doesn't care about that.
I want someone that's going to make me giggle, be loyal.
Show up
for me. And again, make me giggle.
And make her giggle. And I got that on lock.
You got that on lock.
I got that on lock. But I just had this like existential crisis of, I just don't want to fail you. And I think before I said that I was your best friend, you were just happy to have whatever you got from me because we were just friends. But now if we're best friends, that feels like a lot of pressure, Kristen. And you have all these other girlfriends and they really are the best of people. And they remember your birthday and they know the middle name of Tinsley. And like, shouldn't that be it? She was just like, shut up. Like, what are you saying? It's okay. I'm not expecting that from you. I like you exactly how you are. The reason why you're around me is because I already approve of exactly who you are. So don't do this. She was like, don't do this to yourself. What is wrong with you, you psychopath? And then I said, that's my girl. That's my girl.
That's it. And it's been us ever since.
Yeah.
And then how long ago did y'all start the podcast?
This is our second one. How are we doing?
Stop. I've listened to some other ones. No.
Yeah, so we started 2.5 years ago, just about. We started February 7th of 2023.
You got it. Yep.
Yep, February 7th. And I only remember that because that's one day after Lily's birthday.
Yeah.
And that's right around when you started your page.
July.
She was July.
Oh,
July
right.
2020.
Right.
Even later.
Even later. Yeah, past that. Okay, I was going January in my head. That's how quickly I forget things. But it is April 10th, your birthday.
You got it.
I got it.
Ding, ding.
Okay. So we decided to start it, and it was really me like begging her for years. Kristen, we have something so special. We should really do a podcast. We have so many great stories and so many great adventures. And don't you think that people should want to hear them? And da-da-da-da-da. But it was all, but she was just like, no, I don't want to be on a podcast. I don't want anybody to know anything about me. She's private on Instagram. She gives people very little access to her. If you don't know her in real life, you don't get a ton of access to Kristen. And I understood that this would open her up to a lot of access.
Yeah.
I was trying to be respectful of that. So I was like, hey, how about we do it this way? I'll be the Howard, you be my Robin. I'll say all the crazy stuff and you'll just egg me on, right? Just like poke me. And she was like, okay, I could see a world in which that sounds doable.
I was like, let me produce this.
Yeah. Because then she knows it'll be good. Because if I were to produce it by myself, she knew it'd be and she's not wrong. She's not wrong. And so we sit down to record the first day. We buy all the equipment and we sit down on the ground to kind of figure out, what does this sound like? What is it going to look like? And so I start talking and she's like, oh my gosh, yeah, that reminds me, blah, 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 blah. Then I would start to talk again. She's like, yes, girl. Okay. So when we did that, and I was like, after 30 minutes, I said, do you want me to talk? Like, what are we doing here? And I said, Kristen, this is so good. You have to do this.
Like,
there's no world in which you're going to listen to me tell a story and you're going to go, tell him
more.
Keep going. It's not natural in our relationship.
Yeah.
We both sparkle and we know that. And we are not ashamed to say that. We both sparkle and we both have something to give and we both have great things to say. And like, so it either has to be kind of 50-50 all in, talking at the same time, keeping it, or I just don't see this being a Howard and Robin thing. I don't see how that's going to be the case. And so I was like, please just say you'll do it the normal way that we are in our relationship.
And we did. I mean, we just kind of like jumped in and then we were just popping off episode after episode.
Yeah. And we kind of we were like, okay, we were just listening. People are like, more.
Yeah, we were like, I guess we'll do 4 this week.
Yeah, I guess we keep going and going and going. And we had this, Bobby is like, oh, so you are capable of doing something every day. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. If it has to do with us just talking, we are professionals.
Easy.
Right.
But it did. It took.
That's so awesome.
Then it was like, okay, let's get the Patreon going so we can start to make money and ads and everything. And I'm proud to say that we've never spent any money on this podcast. We've had enough money coming in from ads or Patreon to never have to come out of our own pocket for things.
Yes.
Even when we went on the Heather McMahon cruise and we went to BravoCon a couple years ago. Like all of that is paid for through the podcast, but we haven't gotten to the point. We paid ourselves one paycheck.
Yeah.
Like one time. And so we need to get to the place where we can pay ourselves to do this because it can only be like a cute passion project for so long, even though it is fun and we love it. And it's so great for our relationship too.
Yeah.
It gives us built-in time.
Yeah.
All the time. It gives us this built-in time. And we do know we have something special. We know that there are thousands of women, especially, and a few guys. Hey, Joe. But there are so many women who are like, I just feel like I'm your third best friend. I feel like I am sitting here listening to my best friends talk and and I need that. I need that right now in my life. And we just need to continue to find those people. We need to continue to find those women specifically. I think our demo is the elder millennial woman who is about to hit perimenopause, who still remembers what it's like to not grow up on the internet and to die from dysentery on the Oregon Trail. And we need to find them and say, like, we're your besties. Yeah. We're just, we're on the TV. We're on the screen or on your radio or on your phone, but like we're here and we are all kind of going through the same stuff at the same time. Like, let's just do this together. But that's been tough. We don't know how to continue to target that and to market that. I don't quite know what that is. We see other podcasts doing it and popping off, but the majority of them had something beforehand. Yeah. They had a Bravo show. They had, they had something that made them somewhat famous or at least notable.
Yeah.
Even if it's infamy. And then they were able to translate that.
Well, I love y'all's dynamic. Y'all are just so great together. I think you both complement each other very well. So
thank you, Bobby. That's so sweet.
We do complement each other very, very well. Maybe the best in the business to do it. And I took the words right out of your mouth, I'm sure.
In the biz.
I mean,
talk to a girl. Jeez.
Dear Lord. And that's the other thing that it's like anybody who goes viral now can get a podcast and they have these built-in followers and it's diluting the market even more for people like us who are like, okay, so there's another, and then it almost gets to the point, and I think that this happens with influencing too, where people go, oh God, everyone has a podcast now.
Yeah.
Everyone has a podcast now. I guess that's just the next natural thing. And it's like, well, we've been here for 2.5 years just about. So it's not Totally a new thing.
Yeah.
And we came into it growing from zero. And yeah, you would think, well, Miranda, you have a decent amount of followers. They're not a whole lot have I converted to listen. So I also don't know that disconnect. And if you have any insight, Bobby, I'd love to hear it since everything you touch turns to gold. But how do people watch me on Instagram every day for 8 years and comment every single thing and want more? Miranda, more, post more. I would watch even more. And then I give them this whole more. Here's all more. I'm literally talking about everything that's in my brain. Here it is on a silver platter. It's called All That to Say podcast. And they go, nah, I'm not going to listen.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like, I mean, I feel like our age group, like the elder millennials, like, I feel like we do love podcasts. Like, I mean, I'm always looking for a podcast, you know, like, to get, it's just how do you get it in front of them? Like,
I don't know.
I know you share it, and I know you try to keep it even separate, like the podcast, and somehow you've got to figure out how to bridge that and capitalize on that following that you have, whether it's a channel, like, you know, your own channel where you feed the podcast. Like, I've read that you have to introduce something to somebody almost 8 times for them to, like, you know, finally click on it or to invest in, you know. But even, I mean,
Bobby, have you seen the comments from people? So I share our podcast, the podcast that comes out every Tuesday. I share every single week. Hey, here's our percent from this week. Here are some things that we talked about, and here are some other funny things that, and I share the reel or I share the this. And there are still followers of mine who go, you started a podcast?
Yeah.
When did you get a podcast?
Well, they're only on time 6 or 7. They haven't hit the 8th time. You have to tell them 8 times.
It's been 2.5 years. Every week.
I had people the other day, right, like, you quit your job?
Yeah. I know.
So I don't know. It's like people miss things.
People miss things.
They're not, and I forget to, like, I am on my phone.
I know.
All the time, and I have to step back sometimes. But obviously, people are not always on the Instagram app. It's not the first thing they open in the morning like you do. You're checking to see, you know, what's going on. So I do have to be, especially even like real life friends. Like I talked about this with Aaron. I was just like, it's amazing, like how you said, you know, you have your ride or die followers that will come in and just support you. Like I have that core group of these women who I literally never met in real life come and show up for me on a sponsored post. You know, I mean, you're one of those people. Like right now, I have met you in real life. But you can always count on them to, like, if they see it, you know, that's the thing. They're going to be there and you're going to show up. But I've got friends from middle school and elementary who were the ones that were like, go do it. We've got you. You're so good at this. I love your content. And
but then you see them in real life at dinner and you're like, yeah, so that thing. They're like, huh?
Like, you didn't comment, right? Like, why aren't you liking and comment?
Why aren't you?
You know what it's giving Mormon wives when Taylor hosted at the CMAs and all of the other Mormon wives did not comment on her post about it, because we know that those women are chronically online.
Do you watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives?
Don't, but you know, it's almost like I have to tell myself too, like Bobby said, but that's not their world either. Like they don't know that that's honestly helping me for them to go like and comment everything. Like it's more of a chore. And that's what I always tell Doug. I was like, I go through and I read every single comment. I may not be able to reply to them all anymore, but I do go through and I like them all. I like every single one of them, because I'm like, I want you to know, like, that takes effort to go to my post and do that. It's easy to like. Everybody can like, you know, you can like a post. I get way more likes obviously than comments. But for you to take the time and go and leave a comment, just like you take the time to go out of the app and go to the podcast app and like listen to that, like that means more to me, because I know that you're actually making an effort to do so. But I do have to sit back and be like, okay, my girlfriends that are in the trenches of motherhood right now too, like they don't think me going, they're not coming out and searching for my, you know, post for the day. And they're not, I mean, I'm waiting. I posted and then I'm like, okay, and now I got to go comment and stuff like, and I go and try to engage with others too, you know, just to support them. And that's just the business. So like, I know that that's part of it. And so all these other creators are doing that for me. And I'm so grateful for that. But it's almost like, it's so funny because I have all these friends in real life who don't.
Well, I think it's twofold. I feel the same exact way. Or people be like, hey, what's up lately? Or, you know, how's your last week been? I'm like, well, it's all on my sure you could watch it, I guess. No, don't do that. I'll just repeat myself. Okay. But there's a part of me that's like, Miranda, shut up. That's kind of rude, because these people already know that they have access to you in real life. So maybe they want to hear it genuinely from your mouth, face to face, and not take you through a screen. But something that I also had to learn about this when I had my bakery is that you can't build a business on your friends and family. That you can't require or expect them to be your supporters and to buy the cakes and to spend the money. You need a lot more people than that, no matter how big your family is. And mine is humongous, and it still would never have been enough to keep the lights on at a storefront. Yeah. So I now have to think in my mind, I'm not trying to get to Kristen, who's going to see me anyway. I need to get to the woman in Seattle who is going to buy through my link ultimately, or listen or download the episode. And there are so many non-monetary ways to support your people on social media where you don't have to spend a single dime for them to feel your support. And so it doesn't matter how many times I say that until I'm blue in the face. It just, I can't quite bridge that gap. It would mean so much influencing and linking and all that sort of stuff, and likes on the reels and shares on them. That's not even so much in my brain anymore. I just want this to be successful. I just want to pay Kristen, to be honest. I just want to pay her. She does 90% of the work. I just want to pay her. So even if I didn't get paid, I don't care. I just want to pay her. And so whatever can get me to that end goal is us, but me, that's what's important to me. So I don't know. It's constantly trying to figure it out without this huge backing of a Bravo show that they were on before, or on MTV or whatever, gone viral for saying honk to us, spit on that thing. Like, how do we compete with that? And then I haven't even when I've had my viral pop-off moments, it's like I'm so overwhelmed by the virality that I don't then channel that into the next thing. Like, perfect example, when I went viral for posting my engagement video where I was in, the proper woman's business suit, walking up on the stage, and Joshua was proposing to me, and it looked like, I get it now, okay? I have zoomed out. I get that I looked like I was a professor who was grooming a child. I get it now. But I didn't, when I posted it, that was our reality. My man's 3 years older than me. I didn't groom him. Right. Okay? We were both 19 and 22. Nothing nefarious happening here, folks. But anyway, I can see what it is, and people, made fun of the pantsuit, and that's why I look so old. Why didn't I do a pantsuit try-on? Why didn't I immediately go to Express and try on pantsuits? Hey, working girls, if you have to wear a suit every day, here's an idea. Since apparently I'm known as the pantsuit girl, I still haven't done a single pantsuit try-on. Shame on me! This is watching me crash out in live time.
Bobby's like, I did not sign up for this.
Yeah, Bobby, I'm sorry. I know. I'm a lot.
No, I love it all. And you should have definitely capitalized on that. You should just reshare that reel and let it go viral again, and then capitalize on it then.
You did.
Share the content.
Just reshare it again.
You post it as a new reel.
Do whatever Bobby is telling you to do. Why are you questioning it? Just do it.
Should I have another kid? No, I'm just kidding. Literally.
Because I am good with my two.
I'm so good.
Life after the kids are gone.
No, I had a nightmare. Last night. It's just coming to me now that we're saying this, where I took 7 pregnancy tests and they were all positive. I've never had a dream like that.
Do you need to go take one?
Well, God, I hope not. No, I don't think so. I think I'm good. But I was terrified when I remember.
That's just like a fear coming through.
Fear coming through. Can you imagine? I'm almost 44. My oldest is 18 and almost 19, and then I have 16 and a half. I am in such a good spot. They both drive themselves. I don't have
what
to
would
do
you?
anything.
I mean, you would go viral. You would.
No, finally, I'd go viral probably. But
there's your ticket.
Yeah, there's your ticket.
No, y'all, we can't say that because when I say stuff, it goes, no, strike it.
Strike it.
Strike it from the record.
Strike it.
We're editing that out.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So is there anything that you would like to say? Where can people find you, Bobby?
So they can find me on all social platforms. Instagram is my main social. Facebook, TikTok, at Bobby with the I, BOBBI with the I. And then I'm also have a website. And so it's www.bobbywiththei.com. And from there, you can kind of shop through all the different affiliate platforms that I'm on. I also have all my Dining with Doug recipes on there. I just launched some merch. So it's a great place to kind of start, and then you can learn more about me and find ways to get connected with me.
I love that. And Bobby, I'm so happy you talked to us about all the backstory of your life. Mm-hmm. And I think I think as you grow more into the influencing, people are going to want to hear more of that. It is what makes you relatable. And I think it kind of changes the narrative of what I think an influencer girl is. They think an influencer girl is this spoon-fed, silver spoon kind of girl. And it's no. This is someone who's been on the come up her whole life. Yeah. And people, I just think, will love to hear that. So I'm happy we have it here on the record and we can share it with everybody. But I'm sure you have just so many more stories and anecdotes and things that you can share in the future.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everybody follow Bobbi. She's wonderful. So sweet. So genuine. All good things. I want all the best things for you.
Yeah,
and
same.
I know that you're going to just continue to skyrocket because you have the something special.
Yeah.
You really do.
You do.
You sparkle too, Bobbi.
You sparkle.